How about Shemina Shah? Rakata Yahweh Shah. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh Shah.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
But in the kingdom, we're going to have that power like the angels, but we're going to be what you call extraterrestrial. In other words, we're not going to be regular terrestrial like we are right now. Because what happened is, in the ancient world, we had that power. We had that power when we were on a level like gods. But what happened is, the Most High took that power from us. Over the generations and over the years, the Lord took that power from us. But we're going to get that back. We're going to get that power back coming into the kingdom.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord.
How about Shemina Shah? Rakata Yahweh Shah. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh Shah.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
When we think about the kingdom, most brothers think of like the small, minute terms. But the vastness of the kingdom, the greatness of the kingdom, dealing with the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the information alone that we're going to receive when we get to the kingdom, that's on a whole nother level. Never mind the riches and the lands and the women and the children, and to be in your chariot, sipping some yayan, on your chalice, your gold chalice with all them rubies and emeralds and sapphires and the different precious stones, going to places.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
No one, no matter how vivid a brother's imagination is, there's nothing in comparison to what's coming. You can't even imagine. You can't even paint it a picture or write it into words or give an explanation that even comes close to the majesty that's coming. We are destined for greatness in the new righteous kingdom.
But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
The brother with the most vivid imagination out there can't imagine what the kingdom of heaven has in store, what it's going to be like. What we're basing the kingdom of heaven as far as riches and having a good time and things of that nature is just based off of our experiences in this world and what we think having a good time is and living the life is.
Rakata Yahweh Shah. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh Shah.
Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. There are pleasures forevermore at thy right hand. So the kingdom that's coming is going to be set up and established in righteousness. The Israelites are going to be changed. Thy people shall be all righteous. Not one Israelite is going to be lost, because the promise that the Most High made to Abraham was to all that seed. And the seed of the promise went from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob. Every seed that came out of Jacob is a part of the ones that are going to receive the benefits that the Most High promised to blessed Abraham.
Rakata Yahweh Shah. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh. Rakata Yahweh Shah.
The transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down. According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David, as we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, okay, is dealing with, all right, another morning news and prophecy, bread defiled, a poisonous empire, okay, because, it's people, and you see how, society has been so dumbed down, to, the wickedness of Esau, that there's no uproar about the daily poisoning, okay, of the citizens, okay, of America, man. All right. And Esau, Edom has turned the earth, into a death camp, especially here in the West and especially here in America, man. Okay. Because here it is, you have in America, all right, foods, okay, that are not allowed anywhere else on the earth, and the elites, all right, through their control of government, all right, these major corporations run the governments, all right, and under Trump, all right, this is the biggest transfer of power from the government to corporations, okay, that this so-called democracy has witnessed. Under Reagan, there was a major, shift, from, all right, the power of the government to corporations. Reagan gave the corporations a lot of power. All right, he deregulated a lot of things. And then you had leading up to today with Trump, all right, this is on another level of what Reagan did, okay, to what this devil, you see in Trump, his main thing is deregulation, all right. That means that the governments have no say-so in how major corporations, all right, interact, okay, with the citizens, okay. So it's pretty much they're turning America, all right, into a big science laboratory, man. Okay, America has been one gigantic experiment from the elites, whether it's psychological warfare, whether it's war against the body, okay, war against the spirit with enchantments, okay. America has just been one big, all right, lab, okay, for a science experiment for the elites, man. Okay, and that's why the American people, they're just walking, all right, science projects, man. Okay, a young nigga, okay, a thought, all right, a Democrat or Republican, all these is nothing but scientific experiments, man. Okay, to where you have all these different people enchanted, okay, bugged out, okay, dumbed down, you see? And this man has waged war on everyone, all right, through different avenues, man. chemtrails, okay, poison in the air, poison in the food, poison in the water, poison the music, poison the entertainment, poison the school curriculum. Okay, so it's just a poisonous empire. So let's get a few precepts. All right, and then I got a few videos I want to get into. Okay, let's go here. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6. Okay, and 4. It says, and another, all right, a fiery red horse, all right, of bloodshed came out. All right, and his rider was empowered. All right, and this is the power structure of Esau Edom. Okay, Esau within his power, okay, was empowered to do what? To take peace from the earth. And he does that in every means, from war, all right, to the grocery store, okay, to actual, military, all right, interventions and, conflicts to the grocery store, to music, all right. This man, all right, has been empowered to take peace from the earth so that men will slaughter one another, and a great sword of war and violent death was given to him. Okay, and this man has weaponized everything. Okay, the things that were made, all right, for the benefit of man, he's weaponized. Okay, and then he runs a kingdom of constant war. Okay, of heavy pollution. Okay, heavy defilement, spiritually. Okay, heavy enchantments, heavy psyops on people. So this man, all right, as the scriptures say, has been empowered to take peace from the earth, and he does that from every angle. Okay, and the fact that he's in control of resources, he's in control of these governments, he's in control of these institutions, because they all been, infiltrated by, all right, these elitists. Okay, the elites, they have a foothold, okay, in the banking system, in the school curriculum, okay, major corporations, okay, your food supply, okay, anything that you can think of, these devils have a foothold in the automotive, the cars and the oil and everything that's needed for life. These devils, okay, have a foothold in it, man. Okay, Michael 2:1, it says, "Woe, all right, judgment is coming to those who devise wickedness and plot evil on their beds." Okay, destruction, man, judgment. You see, and this is what we're seeing is the Lord is gearing up these devils for judgment, man. That's why he has these devils, just a full steam ahead. Okay, this devil, he's more proud than he's ever been. Okay, he's more hardened than he's ever been. His mind is made up. Esau's mind is made up to go with his move. Okay, he's going to attempt this new world order. Okay, he's investing into this infrastructure. All right, he's taking down all these regulations and barriers. Okay, that restrict him from doing what he needed to be done. Okay, he's dismantling, the American democracy. Okay, he's doing everything needed, all right, to step into, all right, to transition into his new world order. Okay, and it says when morning comes, they practice evil because it is in the power of their hands. So these devils have the power to, all right, have these wicked counsels, okay, on what wickedness they're going to do next. All right, then they have the power to execute on the wickedness, man. If they decide to put this chemical within the food supply, they can do it. Okay, they have a meeting, they decide, okay, we got this new chemical, they do this, they do that. Let's implement that. Starting this day, let's start, let's put this within the chemtrail. I got something else, the fact we found this out. This lab over here has found this out, this do this. Okay, well, we found a new frequency in the music. Okay, if we played on this frequency, and reverse this, this drum. Okay, it does this to the psyche. Let's make that a standard for all, beats that are made. Okay, so in every industry, okay, they want to implement AI in school. Let's implement, these AI companion, okay, software into the school curriculum. Let's gradually start implementing that. You know, these children's best friend is an AI. Okay, prompt. Okay, let's do that. You see, it's in the power of their hands. So they can have these wicked counsels, okay, and then they can put these things into practice real time. Okay. That's how these devils, okay, run the earth, man. All right. Their wicked counsels, they're able to, all right, make their wicked counsels become a standard. Okay. They're able to have a wicked counsel then incorporate it, okay, into society, man, because it's in the power of their hands. All right. So let's go from there. I want to play. I got a few videos I want to get into. Okay. So let's go here. Let's play this one first. This is guy Tom Hartman. You know, he goes pretty hard against American policy. Now this guy, JFK Jr. All right, Robert Kennedy Jr. or RFK. You know, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's supposed to be, you know, this champion of health. Okay, for America. Okay, this whole thing of make America healthy again. All right, was based on, you know, him removing certain chemicals from the foods. Okay, certain dyes. Okay, he was supposed to, you know, go more organic, and he was supposed to be against the juice. Okay, he was just supposed to be this champion of health, but he flipped. They flipped him. You know, which he probably was never. You know, he probably more likely. All right, he just campaigned off that. Okay, so just as Trump came in with MAGA, Make America Great Again, then he had his sidekick. Okay, Robert F. Kennedy, Make America Healthy Again, and you Americans thought y'all was back. You know, y'all thought y'all was on. Okay, it was all a hoax. Okay, now corporations have more power than they've ever had through any with any presidency, man. Okay, so let's play this.
Just consume some more forever chemicals. You know, Bob Kennedy's out there going, I'm going to deal with the pesticides. I'm going to deal with the forever chemicals. We're going to clean up the environment here. No mention, by the way, and I don't think this is an accident, of the leading environmental cause of death and disease, which is tailpipe emissions from cars, as one of our callers pointed out in the previous hour. I believe it was Paul, but from Pennsylvania. But Kennedy's promises, and not just Kennedy's. I mean, you know, this is the whole Maha, let's make America healthy again. The whole, as if America ever was all that healthy. The whole Maha movement is really just a big hustle. You know, you got Dr. Oz out there, you know, pushing his vitamins and
Dr. Oz, all right, which is a part of Trump's team. He's all about the charagma. You know, he's pro charagma. Okay, so this Trump, you know, regime, you know, this has been the biggest switch and bait, okay, in American history. Okay, as we are in, you know, the 11th month, you know, closing in on a year, all right, of Trump's presidency. Okay, he has done exactly the opposite of everything that he's promised you. Okay, because he never intended to keep those promises, man. All right, those promises just disarm you Americans. Okay, had you at ease. All right, and then he opened the door, okay, for technocracy, okay, and the poison camp, okay, which we know part of their new world order is a depopulation. Okay, they want to depopulate the earth, man. Okay, and what better way, all right, to weaken people's, you know, immune systems for this next pestilence they want to release. Okay, because there's always this, you know, the next, you know, endemic that's pending. Okay, so let's play this.
who are friends of the Maha movement and Bob and whatnot. Saying, put your testicle tanning marks. I'm serious. It was, but now we've got the Environmental Protection Agency, of course, not under the control of Bob Kennedy, but the EPA saying that they're going to approve 2 new pesticides that are based on or contain forever chemicals. These polyfluorocarbon, whatever they're called, PFAS chemicals, PFAS, and polyfluoroalkyl something. And they're going to spray this stuff on potatoes, broccoli, and some varieties of lettuce, which, I haven't seen the science yet. I'm just looking at the popular, at the mainstream press here. This article is over at Daily Kos. So I can't say with certainty, but it seems like if you spray a chemical on lettuce, particularly a forever chemical, that it's probably still going to be in the lettuce when you eat it. I don't know how easily these wash out. I don't know how absorbed they are. But I would rather not be around them, frankly. And then earlier this month, EPA Chief Lee Zeldin prioritized once again the health of business over that of citizens. According to a press release, the EPA relaxed its requirements on businesses to report PFASs in their products. So, high blood pressure is no joke. It's actually the #1 risk factor for mortality. Half of all adults have it.
So you have this chemical called PFAS, all right, that they're going to allow. You see, this is because what you got with government, you got what you call bureaucracy. Okay, these are non-elected officials, okay, that make decisions. Okay, what you have, like your FDA, okay, your Food and Drug Administration, okay, which they approved the juice. Okay, the juice was FDA approved. Okay, then you have your EPA, environmental, all right, segment, okay, of government, which they're supposed to be over the environmental, which you see with the EPA, all right, they're being deregulated mainly for the data centers. Tomorrow, Lord willing, we're going to tap back in on those data centers tomorrow morning. But the EPA, which is an environment, they've been heavily deregulated to allow, all right, these data centers, all right, which are extremely harmful to the environment and people and the ecosystem. Okay, and they use a lot of resources from water and electricity. Okay, so you have the EPA, then you have the USDA, was supposed to be over, the food and, also inspection agency of the government. All right, so you have all these agencies being deregulated. Okay, and then this guy, Robert Kennedy Jr., okay, is supposed to be, this health, okay, the health secretary, okay, which he's supposed to be over all these things, and certain things are not under his jurisdiction, but he's supposed to be, the go-to and what to ban, okay, and what to allow. All right, and we see all those promises and, that pep rally, about make America healthy again. Well, they're just, approving forever chemicals on crops, man. This is why we gotta get out of here, man. Brother can post that, Ezekiel 4:13, about us eating our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles. Brother can post that, Baba Shah. Okay, but then the end of the day, this is why we gotta get out of here, man. Okay, this is a poisonous empire. Okay, and it only gets more toxic. Okay, more poison. Okay, my brother, can post it. Also, I think that Michael 2:10. This is not our rest. Okay, well, let's play a little bit more of this and we'll segue.
The EPA issued a press release saying the proposed changes to improve reporting regulations will support Administrator Zeldin's Powering the Great American Comeback initiative by reducing regulatory reporting burdens. In other words, we're going to make corporations more profitable and thus make America great again by saying that they don't have to tell you if their products contain poison so you can avoid them. Isn't that sweet? Back in April, Lee Zeldin was saying, oh, we got to do something about these PFAS chemicals, these forever chemicals. No, not so much. I mean, back in April, he said, I have long been concerned about PFAS and the efforts to help states and communities dealing with legacy contamination in their backyards. Now, hey, good luck, suckers, you're on your own. That's kind of the official position of the Trump administration. Bob Kennedy has also flip-flopped on this issue. He told his Maha followers that he would come for pesticide use. This was in 2020 on Facebook. He said, if my life were a Superman comic, Monsanto would be my Lex Luthor. Yeah, Monsanto makes glyphosate, also known as Roundup. I think Monsanto got sold to like a German company or something, but hey, it's still, glyphosate is still out there, it's still the company. And in May, Kennedy was hauled before the Senate in front of a bunch of Republicans who were all taking money from the chemical industry. And what did he say? Well, I'll read you his quote. There's 1 million farmers who rely on glyphosate. 100% of corn in this country relies on glyphosate. We are not going to do anything to jeopardize that business model. Well, let me tell you, first of all, that's BS. 100% of corn does not rely on glyphosate. There's a growing, thriving, and healthy sector within agriculture that produces organic food. Our food today contains, our factory food today, our food today that comes from industrial farms contains roughly half the nutrients that it did in the 1950s. And we're saturating things with glyphosate and other chemicals. Now, glyphosate isn't just an herbicide. It doesn't just kill weeds. It's also a bactericide. It kills, it's an antibiotic, essentially. It kills bacteria.
So he's going to break it down, but I'm going to segue to another video dealing with glyphosate. And he says it acts as an antibacterial, which it kills your good bacteria in your gut. All right. And that's why so many people in America have digestive problems. We all suffer from it, man. That's why, it's good to detox, as often as possible. We do what we can. We eat the best of the worst, but at the end of the day, the true solution is this nigga being removed from power, man. We eat the best of the worst, and the foods that you have to avoid in America, you don't have to avoid everywhere else. You have a lot of people from Europe, which I'm gonna get that list in a minute. All right, but you got a lot of people from Europe, okay, that come over here and they eat what they eat in Europe, and they get bloated, they gain weight, they digest it, they become constipated, okay, because America is saturated, all right, with chemicals, man. Okay, the American, food supply is saturated with chemicals. You had the brother, come over from the EU, he visited the apostles a few years back, okay, and he got sick. He ate this food and he got sick, man. His body didn't know, okay, how to digest it, man. Okay. So let's get that Ezekiel 4:13 Bible shot. 14 is good too, but 13 is the point. That's the main point. So brother can get that Ezekiel 4:13 Bible shot. This is our chosen ones, our Israelites. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, man. And like I said, we eat, the best of the worst. Like I say, brothers have started detoxing, intermittent fasting, allowing the body to, not overloading your digestive system, by just constantly eating throughout the day, allowing your body to break things down, going to detox, extended detox to give your digestive system a rest. Okay. Let it allow to rid, some of the chemicals, okay, that we take in here. Okay. And there's, brothers been tapped into that lately, even from the apostles, start with the apostles and elders, been heavy into it, but going back into it, man, that's why a lot of foods that we eat, it's destroying, you know, the good bacteria, okay, that breaks down food, okay, for the sake of digestive. Okay, that's why, you know, a lot of people find it so hard to lose weight. You know, you damn near got to be on a monk diet, you know, and train like a Navy SEAL. You know, because I know, you know, I got to keep up a certain regimen or I'll be through. You know, so I gotta, you know, I'm at the point now I gotta maintain a certain regimen. I'll be done. All right, but at the end of the day, man, you know, this devil has to be removed. Okay, he said, for this is not your rest because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. Okay, even with the sword destruction, man. Okay, in this place, like I say, it destroy you in every way. You know, spiritually, psychologically, you know, mentally, all right, physically, man. It's just built to destroy you, man. This man, I say, he runs a poisonous empire. Okay, and he's attacking from every angle, you know. So real quick, let me get this in Ezekiel. So we'll play this because we know one of the latest things that we've heard about, you know, with the Campbell soup, you know, dealing with the 3D printed meat, which that's crazy. But that goes back into that CRISPR technology, you know, the ability of this devil, you know, to be able to you know, replicate stem cells, you know, so he can take a stem cell from a piece of meat, you know, and replicate it, all right, with into, you know, fake meat, you know. So you go here, this is Ezekiel 4:13, says, then the Lord said, thus said the children of Israel, all right, will eat their bread unclean and defile among the nations where I will banish them. Okay, and that's being fulfilled today, you know, that we're eating, you know, our bread defiled. Everything is tainted in this society. You know, we eat, I say, the Levitical diet, and we try to eat, you know, as healthy as possible. I say the best of the worst. Okay, but there's no escaping, you know, what the devil has tainted. You know, so I say, you don't just let yourself go and just, you know, because they die to destroy you, man. You know, they die to have you down bad. All right, that's why they call it American diet, with a sad diet. Standard American diet known as a sad diet. You know, so we do what we can. You can't be over righteous, you know, because ain't no escaping it. You know, but then you can't be, you know, lax, okay, because this is warfare, man. Okay, you at war. This man has it where you at war with the food you eat. You know. Let's play this though.
Welcome back to the Jimmy Dore Show. My name is James Lee, filling in for Jimmy. Kurt had to go to a different show, but appreciate everybody for tuning in. We got one final bonus story for you guys. This is an interesting one where the Campbell's Soup, one of the VPs, was caught on a hot mic talking about engineered meat and chicken from a 3D printer. Let's take a listen here.
Former Campbell's Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. So healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza said,
all right, so that we appreciate some people like that, just, for saying the quiet part out loud, because that's what we need to know, because Campbell soup is not really real food. So let's find out what this 3D printed meat actually is.
The entire world will start eating meat printed by a printer, and we won't even be able to tell if it's real meat or not. This isn't a plot from Black Mirror, it's our reality unfolding. Here's why printed meat resembles real meat so closely. The 3D printers use special bio-inks to create it. These bio-inks are actually made from stem cells extracted from different animals depending on the desired type of meat: beef, pork, poultry, or even fish. In a laboratory, these cells then multiply, interact, and differentiate into the fat and muscle cells that make up bio-ink. These bio-inks are then intricately layered by specialized 3D printers to construct meat products that closely mimic the texture, taste, and nutritional composition of traditional meats. This is identical to real beef, and when it is ready and served, even the smell is the same. Scientists claim that by using this technology, the environmental impact associated with conventional livestock farming will be greatly reduced.
It always seems
that's crazy work, man. There's crazy work. But this is the devil. Here it is. The Lord already has a system to where, the food reproduces itself. Okay? But this is just the devil being in rebellion against Yahweh Hashem Al Shai. Going back to what we've been saying, how, all right, as the scriptures say, the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Well, this is how Amalek, he wages war, okay, against the Creator by being at war with creation. He's at war with life, man. Okay, the fish, they multiply themselves, man. There's lawful fish to eat, should be in abundance. Lawful meat to eat was meant to be in abundance. Okay, but this devil has came along, all right, and has made everything synthetic, all right. And if he's able to 3D print meat and replicate meat, he can take how he poisoned these things to a whole nother level. Okay, he can take how he poisoned these things, okay, to a whole nother level, man. Okay, this is pure wickedness what this devil is on. Okay, and this is this man being in rebellion to Yahweh Hashem Al Shai. Okay, I say when you go into creation, let's go here. Let's see, there's 1 and 11. Let me jump down. Let's see what is Genesis. So let's go to Genesis, man. All right, and this is what the devil is at war against, man. All right, when you go to Genesis 1, we got this the other day. We started 11. All right, Genesis 1 and 11, and it says, this is an A and P. It says, so the Elohim, all right, let the earth sprout tender vegetation, plants yielding seed, okay, and fruits, all right, bearing seed according to, all right, their kind, whose seed is in them, okay, showing the seedless, that's rebellion. All this seedless fruit, that's rebellion. Okay, whose seed is in them upon the earth, and it was so because you're supposed to be able to start an orchard off of one orange. Okay, let's say one orange has, 15 seeds in it. Well, you're supposed to be able to plant those 15 seeds and get 15 orange trees off one orange. Okay, the Lord created the earth to be abundant. Okay, verse 12 said the earth sprouted and abundantly produced vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their kind. All right, and what it says abundantly. Okay, and trees bearing with seed in them according to their kind. And the Most High saw that it was good, and he affirmed. All right, and the Elohim saw that it was good, and he affirmed and sustained it. They affirmed and sustained it. Okay, so this is the Elohim creating everything according to the blueprint of the Heavenly Father. Okay, and you jump down. All right, and these are 1,000-year periods. All right, it says the fourth day is the 4,000-year period. Okay, when the Elohim was creating everything, you could tell creation was, they took their time, because creation is very tedious, how things work one to another, the purpose of the herbs and the purpose of each animal and what they do. And, everything was meant to complement each other. Okay, it says, and there was evening and there was morning. All right, the fourth day, it said, then the Elohim said, let the water swarm and abundantly, okay, produce living creatures. Okay, and amongst those living creatures, okay, in the waters. All right, it says, and let birds soar above the earth in the open expanse of the heavens. The Most High created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, all right, with which the waters swarm according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. And the Elohim saw that it was good, and they affirmed and sustained it. All right, and the Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters, all right, in the seas, and let the birds multiply on earth. Okay, so everything was meant to be abundant and be fruitful and multiply. Okay, the food was meant to reproduce itself in abundance. There was already a system in order. 3D printing is absolutely unnecessary, man. That's crazy to go through all that process, all that, all right, time and labor to reproduce, all right, meat that already reproduces itself, food that already reproduces itself. Okay, let's go here. How was King Solomon able to have this type of abundance? Okay, every day when you go to 1 Kings chapter 4. Okay, how was King Solomon able to have this type of abundance, man? All right, 1 Kings chapter 4. Okay, in verse 22 it says, 1 Kings 4 and 22, it says, Solomon's food, all right, for the royal household, which was his servants, his wives, his children. Okay, it says, for one day was 30, all right, cores of finely milled flour, your dessert, 60 cores of wheat flour, your breads and your desserts, 10 fat oxen, 20 pasture-fed oxen, that's 30 oxen. Okay, this is in one day. Okay, 100 sheep, not counting fallow deer. Okay, so the deer wasn't even accounted for. It was just there every day in abundance. Gazelles, roebucks, the fatted owl, the chicken, it could have been quail, whatever bird was lawful. You see? So on the daily, you got 30 oxen, 100 sheep, all right, deer, all right, gazelles, roebucks, okay, animals, you will hunt, the fatted fowl animals, that you would raise, okay, because you can raise quails as well, okay. So you have all this abundance, and this is every day, okay. So how was he able to have this abundance every day with no 3D print, with no industrial farming, with none of this, Roundup and glyphosate and pesticides? How was he able to have this abundance, man? Okay, because the earth was already set up to produce abundance, man. This devil, all right, creates scarcity. You see? So at the end of the day, man, this devil, has to be removed, man. This man has to be, all right, removed from power. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go here, man. You see, let's go here to the book of Sirach. All right, and we'll end it here. I just wanted to get before we do that. Before we do that, I got one more because it's a more madness that these devils got going on. I got some. Before we do that, we'll set that up to close out on. But let's go here. Just go into. I've got this list. Okay, of foods. Okay, that are banned in America. I mean that are banned in other places but allowed in America. Okay. So you go into examples of U.S. All right, allowed food ingredients banned elsewhere. All right, said banned or restricted in the EU or the UK. All right, said the practice, okay, of washing, okay, poultry carcasses with chlorine is viewed by EU regulators as masking poor hygiene earlier in the process, man. So washing, the chicken with chlorine. All right, it says 160 countries, including most of EU, Russia, and China. Okay, and you got to remember, there's only like 198 countries in the world, and 160 banned. All right, ractopamine is a growth promoting additive. Concerns over animal welfare and human health lead many nations to prohibit it. So you have 160 countries that, all right, that ban, all right, uh, ractopamine, okay, which is a growth hormone. Okay, you said this is why women are filling out earlier. Little girls, and the cycle is coming on early. This is why. Okay, it says EU, Canada says many countries in Asia, South America, etc. is classified as a possible, all right, carcinogen by international health, okay, agencies, okay, because it's talking about what bread with potassium bromate, okay, a lot of this in the bread, okay. So in other countries, it's classified as a carcinogen by international health agency and banned in many countries as a precaution. All right, it says dairy milk from cows treated with synthetic hormones. All right, concerned about effects of growth hormone usage on human health and animal welfare. All right, it says snacks, candies, all right, cereals with certain artificial dyes or preservatives. Examples: products containing dyes like red 40, yellow 5, and 6, or preservatives like BHT or BHA. All right, many European countries banned in Japan, etc. Some dyes are preservatives. All right, and preservatives are considered potentially harmful. All right, or are much more strictly regulated abroad. So here it is. You have, this guy Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He was supposed to be, this health hero, and he hasn't stopped any of this. He hasn't stopped any of this because big corporations, okay, run the government. Okay, they run. All right, these these agencies that's supposed to regulate. Okay, because all these things have passed. All right, the regulations. Okay, these bureaucracies that set up to regulate, your FDAs, your USDA, your EPA. Okay, they all pass through that. Okay, and then you have here, even with the makeup is poison, man. Okay, which you shouldn't be wearing no makeup anyway. Okay, but let's go here. Let's play this real quick.
One of the biggest lies Republicans have told the American public for decades is that trickle-down economics works. We all know that's a lie. One of the second biggest lies is that we need to deregulate. These regulations just are so terrible for business. Another lie is that they say we are pro-family, we are pro-life, and we care so much about life that we're willing to take away the rights of so many to make sure people understand how much we love life. They don't. It's all a lie. And now they're deregulating like crazy. And this shit is unbelievable. When they say they want to make America great again, they want to take it back to deregulated capitalism. And it's like they're going back to typewriters in the age of iPhones. Pop this up. The FDA has suddenly dropped a proposed rule to require asbestos testing in cosmetics. Okay, the Food and Drug Administration, their job is to make sure we don't have poison in our products. But now, because everything is a shakedown with this president, the FDA is now servicing and providing cover and more profits for billionaires. So get this straight, MAGA people. You pay your taxes that pays for the FDA to test stuff to make sure shit is safe to put on your face, to put in your body. They are supposed to be beholden to no one, only safety for the American public. Now they're bought and paid for by asbestos cosmetic people that want to skirt the system and poison you.
So now you have asbestos, okay, in the makeup, which they had this big thing about how asbestos was cancer causing. You know, certain, construction workers had lawsuits, okay, about, they was contracted to go and tear down, and renovate certain buildings that had asbestos in it, and it was a cancer, okay, causing, okay, chemical in asbestos. So now the FDA has green lighted, okay, asbestos to be okay in makeup. Okay, any way that this devil can, he's trying to destroy you, man. Okay, and there's nobody between the American people and these major corporations. There's nobody regulating these corporations. Okay, it's a free fall. All right, and you American people are nothing but guinea pigs, okay, and pawns for profit for these major corporations, man. Okay, so let's go here. You know. In there, I just want to play that. So let's play this. Let's read this. And so we go to Wisdom of Solomon. All right, chapter Book of Sirach. All right, chapter 10 and verse 4. Okay. It's time for righteousness, to take over the earth, man. Okay, it's time for the righteous government, all right, to take power of the earth, man, because no flesh will be safe. Sirach 10 and 4, it said the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time, okay, in the right time. And see, we're coming into that time, so as vexing as it is, to see this devil constantly implement wickedness in the world. All right, we know that he's running his course. All right, and the more wicked it gets, the closer we get to the due time that the Lord has already predetermined. Okay, it says in the due time he will set over one that is profitable, man. All right, and there's going to be a Hawashai, and the first fruits. Okay, you're not going to have to worry about your government. Okay, in the kingdom, the government of Yahushua. All right, the 12,000 men. All right, from each tribe of Israel. You're not going to have to worry about the government being profit based. Okay, it's going to be a government of righteousness. Okay, because when righteousness is a standard, the earth is going to give its abundance anyway. Okay, righteousness is the way. Okay, and these devils have, established a poisonous empire, and they're at war with the masses. He's at war with life. He's at war with righteousness, with Yahweh Shemal Shai. Okay, and his rulership has proven to be extremely destructive, man. He's not fit. Okay, this is why his ass ain't get the blessing, man. He's not fit for no blessing. Okay, so Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kalkadash. And double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutation to the hopeful like Shalom.